October 29th, 2012. I heard the crack of the tree splitting a second before the window glass shattered and spewed into my bedroom. I made it into the hall a few paces behind my cat Jazz and almost fell over Miss Piggy, who was trying to run into the room. "Out! Out!" I yelled as her fellow retriever, Mr. Rogers, came galloping up the stairs.
"Jolie? Are you okay?"
Scooby was probably shouting from downstairs, but I could barely hear him.
"Okay. I'm okay."
When crashing and breaking glass noises did not repeat, I walked back a few paces and shut the door that led into my bedroom. No sense having the dogs or Jazz step on glass. I ran down the dark stairway into Aunt Madge's great room. Scooby had a piece of plywood lying across the oak table, and the saw blade was poised to cut the plywood in half. The pale light from a battery lamp we had attached to the back of the tall oak chair gave barely enough light to keep him from sawing off a finger. A few more hours of Hurricane Sandy, and there wouldn't be an unbroken window in the cozy corner B&B. October 30th, 2012. Morning told us that we were lucky. Up and down the New Jersey coast, there were horror stories of roller coasters in the ocean and houses gone or totally trashed. Some entire towns were still flooded. Since Ocean Alley is 80 miles north of where Sandy came ashore, parts of the boardwalk were destroyed, and a lot of businesses along it heavily damaged. But the carnage was nothing compared to towns like Seaside Heights and Monmouth Beach or even Hoboken. Instead, there were many Ocean Alley homes and hotels in the same condition as the cozy corner. Shingles and gutters gone, trees down, and a lot of broken glass. All repairable, but it would take time. And no power, of course. Maybe not for days. My cell phone chirped.
"Who would have thought we'd be glad to hear that?"
Scooby asked. I pushed the button to answer it. If cell service was restored, it was a good sign.
"Jolie? I've been so worried."
"It's okay, Aunt Madge. Anything broken can be fixed," I said.
"I wasn't worried about the B&B, just you two. Thank God Scooby was able to stay with you."
Aunt Madge had gone to Maryland to meet more of Harry's family, and she and he decided it would not be a good idea to be on the road with a storm barreling down on the mid-Atlantic coast. I grinned to myself. How many other octogenarian engaged couples had a surprise wedding shower during a hurricane? I'd wanted to go to Lakewood, the town about 30 miles inland where my sister and her family live, to ride out the storm. But both of her daughters have a lot of allergies, and if the dogs and Jazz had to stay, I was staying. I don't think I'll make the same decision again, though. We were lucky this time. Now, if we can just get the B&B put back together in time for the wedding... We actually did it. Less than 1 month after Hurricane Sandy removed a bunch of shutters and broke every shutterless window in the B&B, we actually had the place ready for Aunt Madge and Harry's wedding, the Friday after Thanksgiving. Any room can be transformed if you put 40 white folding chairs and 10 vases of lilies in it.
"Do you, Madge Richards, take Harry Steele to be your lawfully wedded husband?"
Reverend Jameson kept going. Aunt Madge, dressed in a stunning, calf-length, cream-colored dress she had made herself, was staring at him intently. Harry looked as if he might throw up. I studied the back of Aunt Madge's hair, which was her natural soft white, a color most of us have not seen in years. She washes a different shade of color into her hair at least once every month. I glanced at my sort-of boyfriend, George, who was leaning against the wall, having given up his seat to my sister Renee's 6-year-old. He met my gaze and wiggled his eyebrows, and I pressed my lips together to keep from laughing.
"You may now kiss the bride."
Harry and Aunt Madge bumped noses and started to laugh.
"You can do better than that,"
Scooby's voice came from the back of the room. I stepped back as applause broke out. I'd been standing just a few feet behind Aunt Madge. She had deemed me her attendant, and I had tried to attend to her every need, not just today, but in the week since the storm. She's tough, but storm recovery is tougher. There was a loud pop, and a champagne cork missed my head by about 3 inches.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.